Yeah, I love that.
So just do it. You'll get more and more comfortable as the time goes. And then on a marketing side, I was thinking, what can I do? I want to do more of these videos as well, because as we all know, the videos are where it's at, and you'll get just a bigger audience. So I just started, I'm calling it a Tuesday Talk. And it's a Facebook Live every Tuesday at 12 noon. And I did one with Catherine Rain on last Tuesday from Miami. Then I'm doing one with the top agent tomorrow in South Carolina. And I'm reaching out to all the top Keller Williams agents and interviewing them about why they love where they live. So if anybody from Connecticut is thinking about moving, please tune in and learn about Miami or South Carolina. Then I have somebody from Hermosa Beach, somebody from Dubai. I'm doing Lucy Parker. And I'm mortified, but again, I mean, you kind of got to get over yourself and just do it. And if you screwed up, don't worry about it, because people will be there for you, rooting you on. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's a great idea, and it's great advice, right? It's kind of like the get over yourself advice. It's because you just do have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, and remember, again, you're the only person who thinks what you think about when you're watching the videos. Everybody else just sees, oh, it's Christine, oh, it's Karen, oh, it's Sherry. Like, nobody else is like, oh my goodness, she actually got on camera looking like that. Nobody says that. Nobody thinks that, right? And I love the idea, and thank you for hammering it home, Christine, is that the ones that get screwed up, the ones where you flub, the ones where they actually get better response. And I learned a long time ago, before video was even a big thing, we had this big video class probably 5 or 8 years ago. And one of the things the guy told us was the more produced they are, the less people trust them, right? The sincerity comes from, I'm just standing in front of my phone talking and being real. People trust that, and they relate to it more than something that's like hyper produced and fancy and edited and lit all well. And so take that for what it is. How else might you use video, since we're on video, to market the business? Because what Christine put on the table is a great idea. She's ultimately trying to attract sellers, right? I'm guessing that this is what's behind that. She's looking to attract sellers who might be moving someplace else to hear about where they might be moving to, so she can put their house on the market and get them going there.
Exactly. That was the whole evidence behind it, because I have so many sellers who are like, where would I go if I sell? Where would I go? So is to reach out to my database, tell them to tune in, but also then grow my Keller Williams referral network as well.
Brilliant.
And to have a time on it, and I scheduled them. I'm scheduled all the way through November. I've got to do it, and I've got to do it live. So it just holds me accountable to doing them.
Yeah, and I love the fact that what Christine did is she involved other people, because once you involve other people in their schedules, like, you have to show up and you have to be ready and you have to be prepared and you've got to be ready to play at a high level, or else you look stupid in front of important people, right? So I love that version of accountability. Yes, Shirley.
So when Jen had her challenge for us doing a video a day or whatever it was a few months ago, I did one on decluttering, which was really fun. I did a before and after with the movie maker on your phone. So I did just a little place where it was very cluttered looking, where I love it. It looks great. Cleared it all away, got rid of everything, and then showed the after effect. Like saying, I love it like this, but a buyer coming in isn't going to love it like this. So this is what your house needs to look like in order to sell it the most effectively. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a great answer to how are you using video to market the business, right? It doesn't have to be a commercial about you. As a matter of fact, I think that's probably the least effective way to use video. Educational style videos, like before and after, here's what you could do to stage your home. Here's the process of getting your home on the market, right? Market updates that come from you to your database on video. 30 seconds, a minute, 90 seconds, simple, fast, right? But useful. And then you build a library around that and start sending out links to that library so that you become the resource, right? What do we know about market share? You have to first capture mind share before you can capture market share. And so this is a way that you can become the expert, capture mind share with your database. You could post them on your website for strangers. People are now utilizing those tools in a way that makes you credible without you having to give like I'm a top producer, please come work with me because I'll get you the best results. Because that's what everybody says, right? And nobody really pays attention to those kinds of words anymore. Did you ever notice that everybody who runs an ad is a top producer? Everybody. You never see somebody say, hi, I don't really sell much real estate, so please call and hire me. Nobody says that. So if everyone's a top producer, you have to move away from that. You have to just demonstrate and show people that you are knowledgeable and resourceful. And if they reached out to you, cool stuff would happen. I love the idea of videos for that, the way Sherry Lee and Christine were using them. Anybody else have thoughts around that? Anybody else using them that way? Go ahead, Karen.
How long do you think they should be, the videos? Do you have a time limit that you would put on it?
What are you guys doing? Christine and Sherry Lee, how long were yours?
I do it under a minute. Mine are very quick. They're quick tips. I did one a couple days ago, top 5 fall decorating tips. Almost any social media posts that you would type, you could put on video. I make really short ones for stories. I make ones that are 15 seconds long. But then I also do, ones on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube that are about a minute. I don't typically do more than a minute. My Tuesday talk ones are going to be about 10 minutes, but my other ones are about a minute long.
I think mine was under 2 minutes. One of the longer ones was 4 or 5 minutes that we had with one of our group who did a comp to his people. He sent a comp of the neighborhood with 5 or 6 comparable properties, and he talked the person through each one. It was all videoed. He sent that to them. They loved getting it. It wasn't, he just said, this is what's going on in your neighborhood. That was 4 minutes. I thought that was a little long. I found, anything under 2 minutes was really looked at the most.
Yeah, remember people's attention spans are really quite short, right? So 30 to 90 seconds, I think, is probably the sweet spot, depending on what you're doing. With that 2 minutes being the real outside.
And honestly, that was the fun part of the before and after, because Sam was videoing me doing it really fast at super speed. And then you put it all together, it was literally only 30 seconds long.
Yeah, love it. What else from a marketing perspective? How else are you making sure that you're marketing the business to attract people to into your world?
Rick, I'm doing newsletters, which seem to help.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Yeah, and you can even embed a video into your newsletter if you wanted to. And again, market updates, but you could also talk about fall, home maintenance, things of that nature. But I make sure that I'm consistent and send it out with, hopefully valuable information.
Yeah, I will tell you that in my day, I made a lot of money off of newsletters, right? To attract people to my business. And I'm not talking about emailed newsletters. I'm talking about like snail mail, printed on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, lick the envelopes, right? Luckily, I didn't have a George Costanza wedding moment with the licking of the envelopes. But the idea of, I'm talking about real old school back 20 years ago. But I made a lot of money because I was consistent in delivering that to the same neighborhood over and over and over again. If you are consistent into your database, again, you're capturing mind share, you're making yourself the expert, so that when people think of real estate, they think of you, and that's how you get referrals and additional business. So I love the old newsletter idea. Doesn't have to be brilliant. And the good news is, again, we have systems now in place for you that create newsletters for you. You don't even have to sit and really do much of the content. What else? Can I tell you an idea that Jason Abrams just gave us on our weekly leadership call? Because I kind of thought it was cool. He was talking to us about the kind of the Holy Grail, right? The Holy Grail right now in real estate is this circle. And in the circle, if you draw on your paper a circle and put the letters S, like Sam, B, O, like boy, orca. Can't think of any other O's. Oreo, there we go. So SSBO. And what he went on to tell us was, like, everybody is attempting to do SSBO the best. And SSBO stands for search, sale, buy, and own. Search, sale, buy, and own. So in other words, the search piece is the how are people finding us, right? The sale is how are they listing with you? The buy is what are you selling them? And the own is the part I want to talk to you about, because that's where I think the marketing opportunity comes into play here. And it's something that I'm not sure that we spend enough time on. And it has everything to do with, again, I'll go back to MREA. There's a long list of sources of business in here that you get to pick and choose, right? Which source of business you're going to work with. What's the one that's non-negotiable? What's the one that everyone, if they want to succeed and make money in this business, needs to pay attention to at a high level? There's one in here that's non-negotiable. What is it?
Database.
Your database. Exactly right. Thank you, Debbie. Right. That's the one that's non-negotiable. And so because it's non-negotiable, what if we started to think about that own version of the conversation from the perspective of helping our database? And we were talking about ideas, like marketing ideas, where we have agents across the country, some of whom twice a year hire, right? So now I want you to think this through, right? Because when we think about spending marketing dollars, we think about spending things on features on a website, or glitzy fancy brochures, or things of that nature, where we're going to, maybe we're going to be featured in a fancy magazine. I can't imagine why you'd waste your money, and yet maybe that's your thought, right? But I want you to start thinking about spending marketing dollars slightly differently, because if the idea is to market your business into your database of 200 to 400 people, what if, and I'll give you some of the ideas that Jason was throwing out. We have agents across the country who twice a year hire a window washer to go to the second floor windows of past clients and wash their windows. Because the second floor are the ones that are hard to reach, right? People can do their own first floors if they so choose. Or they hire a handyman for the month of September. And September is like handyman month in my real estate organization, which means I market to my database that for the month of September, I have a handyman available to do any and all little kind of smiggly odd jobs around your house for free. Go to this calendar and book your slot, and you have one morning and one afternoon slot, and you send the guy over there and pay for it. Right? Those kinds of things where we have agents who are taking a different approach to marketing dollars to market their businesses by offering services. I kind of thought that was an interesting conversation, because nobody right yet can lay claim to that O in that circle, right? And that stands for own. How are we, hold on, I wrote down this quote so I could repeat it back to you. How are we, what are you doing for your customers to provide unique services, access, or insights that helps them own real estate in a better or easier way? What are you doing for your customers to provide unique services, access, or insights that helps them own real estate in a better or easier way? That's a slightly different conversation than designing a postcard, right? I don't know, is anybody else excited by that idea? I thought it was kind of fun. Nope, nobody seems to be rocketed by it. All right, we can move on. Does anybody have thoughts around those kinds of things, using money to attract business in that way instead?
It's a great idea. I mean, it sets you apart from everybody else. Nobody's doing that. And you get to promote the other business as well, the handyman business. So I'm sure they'll chip in. I think it's great.
Right. Exactly right. Because when you think about what Karen just said, the people that you're going to hire, you're not going to just hire anybody and pay retail. You're going to go to them and say, look, I want to help you, but I need you to help me. I understand there's a cost to your time. Let's figure out if we could set up some version of this where I reimburse you X instead of retail, but you now get 30 different opportunities to connect with 30 of my past clients in the month of September. It's a win for everybody, right? The other thing I love about it is that there's a psychology behind that, right? The psychology behind going and doing something for somebody that most people would charge for, that you're going to do as a favor or for free. The psychology behind it is that now that person owes you, right? And so, and not in a manipulative way, just in a normal kind of human to human interaction way, the psychology behind those kinds of activities says now, when you call back 2 weeks later to say, hey, just wanted to make sure that you were able to see out of your sparkly new windows and make sure everything went okay. Hey, before I let you go, one of the ways that we get to have those kinds of services is that my business keeps growing bigger and bigger, and you're such an important part of that. Thank you. And who do you know that I could assist next? Who do you know that might be interested in buying, selling, or creating wealth by investing in real estate? You circle back with the ask. But if you just cleaned their upstairs windows, have you earned the ask? Right? Some of you struggle with the ask. I think you've earned it if you cleaned their windows or tightened up their plumbing in the downstairs bathroom. Karen.
And they're going to tell somebody. They're going to tell somebody else. I mean, who wouldn't tell, you're going to tell your neighbor, your friend, a colleague, oh, look what my realtor did for me. Or your mortgage broker.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's so true, because now you have that word of mouth. And of course, you're going to promote it like crazy on social media. Hey, it's September. I love Septembers in my business because September is my month of giving back to all of my past clients. Everybody who bought or sold houses from me in the last 24 months gets a handyman for up to 3 hours at my cost for their house for free. And I'm so excited and thrilled to be able to do that for all of my past clients. Yeah. Call me if you want to be a past client and get the same service for free, right? You just talk it up, and then your clients are talking it up. That's the way so kind of those marketing dollars, I think, spent a little differently in those kinds of things could really be powerful. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention I did something kind of similar, except instead of hiring someone, I did it myself. I was just on a local town forum, and don't know if I've told you this story, so you can say shut up if I have. And I saw someone looking, hey, does anyone know a pool person? I'm trying to get this cover on the reel. I have all the parts. It's just everyone's all booked up. And I thought, I worked in a pool store in high school. I could probably do this. And I looked where she lived, and I liked the area of town. And I wrote her, I said, hey, I can swing by and give you a hand with this. And she said, oh, would you with that? So I went over, long story short, I got to meet this great person in a very nice neighborhood. We got to talk for an hour. She sat outside while I was doing this. And inevitably, the second question she asked me was, so what do you do that you're able to come over at 11 o'clock on a weekday? And I said, funny you should ask. So when I was leaving, she was trying to give me money. I said, no, this is, I'm just happy to come over and do this. But if you happen to hear of anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, and she said, oh, absolutely. This has been so great meeting you. I'd be happy to give your name to anyone. And she herself was actually interested in possibly making a move. She's, they're empty nesters. And so it's on the mind. So I essentially got an interview, like a one-on-one with this person for an hour unexpectedly. And before I got home, she had friended me on Facebook and tagged me in a post saying, thank you for coming out. If you need a realtor, Ryan is so nice.
That's brilliant.
So comb the local forums, where your town forums, and look for things where you can just contribute. And it cost me nothing. It cost me an hour of time. So that's, well spent in my opinion.
Yeah, that's spectacular. And the good news is she said, if you're looking for a great realtor, she didn't say if you're looking for a pool boy, right? So you actually kind of had the right conversations to make sure that she was seated with information that she could then promote you. Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love
It had nothing to do with the pool at the end. It was just a vehicle to get to the conversation of who I really was and my focus was. And she got it and wants to promote that. So.
Got it. Love that. Who's on Motorola One? I'm not sure who that is who unmuted.
It's Tama, and I'm driving. That's why you don't see my face.
Hey, Tama.
I had a really good idea while you were talking about offering services. How about doing in December, putting up Christmas lights, getting somebody to do that? Because lots of people don't have the ladders, or that would be something. And then something I've done in the past is oil changes for clients for their car.
Love it. Great ideas. I will say that last year we decided not to put up our own Christmas lights and have someone come and do it. And that is way more expensive than you might think. I don't know if anyone has done it or has had it done, but maybe I just called the wrong person. But holy Christmas, it was expensive enough that we didn't have them come and take them down. We left them up on the trees for the year because I thought, I'm getting 2 years out of this. I'm amortizing the cost of this over 2 years. So we became those people who left the lights up on the trees all summer long. And we're almost to the time where we're going to turn them on again because it was a ridiculous amount of money. And if you can find someone for less, I love that idea, Tama. Make it specific. Think about things that people don't necessarily want to do, right? I love that. I'll tell you another idea that is Chris DiBiase on the call. I don't think I see him. He started doing it. I don't know if he's still doing it. It's a slightly different idea, and that is an experiential idea with clients. He for a while, based on I forget where we heard it. We were both in the same place, and we heard it in the same place.
I saw. I was just trying to download your.
And he started to do this idea, and it was selling somebody a house and hiring a limo the day of the closing to pick them up wherever they are, like bring them to a restaurant for breakfast and then drive them to the closing and then wait there and then take them to their new property in a limo. It was awesome. And he filmed them getting in. He filmed the limo pulling up. They were like all excited. They were, oh my goodness, they couldn't believe it. They had all these awesome things to say, right? And the idea was that he becomes the limo guy, right? So again, you don't capture market share until you capture mind share, but you have to set yourself apart in order to actually capture mind share, right? Just doing a good job. I will tell you, after 21 years, I can attest to the fact that just doing a good job isn't enough. It's just not enough. Right? It's not enough for scale. It's not enough for the longevity of the referrals you're looking for, right? So it's almost like figuring out doing a good job and then what's over the top. What do you have to do to kind of really stick out and be that person? So it's those kinds of experiential things, are you sending, one of the simple things that, that I know Debbie was doing for a long time, and I don't know if she's still doing it, but I remember when we did it, it was one of the things that people remembered the most often, and that was lunch being delivered to the house on moving day, right? When you have people moving out of a house, so your listing clients, make sure you know when moving day actually is, which is usually different than closing day, right? And send lunch for everybody who's going to be there, including the professional movers, so they don't have to leave. Everyone just loves that, and they talk about it, and it's like one of those extra things that people don't expect, that I think gets more bang and more longevity than any gift we ever gave them. Debbie, would you agree with that?
I entirely agree with it. And having just gone through the experience, I'll tell you who's really impressed with it, the movers themselves. They love it. They love, love, love it. And that's an opportunity as well to find some new business because they are very wowed by it. The other thing, this is a little bit in a different direction, but it is the 13th of September. The leaves on the trees will be falling down very soon. And it's a great opportunity when you're talking to people to talk about coming over and taking pictures of their green landscape while it's green, so that if they list in March, which is when they want to list, February and March, and it's not green in February and March, and it's not green for a long time after February and March. So it's a great, even if I say, I'm not trying to twist your arm, if you're even vaguely considering this, let me come over and you can take some fabulous pictures with your own little phone, and just be prepared for green when the time comes.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Dee.
I just want to add, and they don't have to get all crazy about the inside of their homes. This is the outside. So, because I do that as well, and just remind them that, and that way they know that you're thinking about them and you can reiterate that. And yeah, just so you know, yeah, before the leaves fall and they have to do the fall cleanup.
And you know what's so important about what Debbie and Dee just reminded us about is you're not only thinking about them, you're actually thinking about their bottom line. When you think about why you're going over, right? Your home will sell faster if we can showcase it more beautifully. And let's face it, winter in Connecticut is not the most beautiful looking time to pull up to a property. And so the idea that you're taking time out of your day, for those of you who struggle with reasons to reach out to your database, man, if that's not a great one, I don't know what is, because you're thinking about them and you're thinking about the what if. I just want to make sure that you don't leave any money on the table if all of a sudden in February you find yourself needing to put your house on the market. Let's just be prepared. It costs you nothing. I'm just going to come out and do it. You don't even have to be home. It would be lovely to see you, but you don't even have to be home, right? You can make it easy. Go ahead, Dee.
Everybody asks when's the spring market, and we know we always say Super Bowl, and that's February. So there's no outside pictures then.
That's right. That's right. Right. Except if there's 75 feet of snow. Hey, did you hear about Hurricane Larry? Just as a complete aside, Hurricane Larry is this weird storm that's an Atlantic storm, but it's up in the north. And it was a hurricane because it's in the Atlantic during hurricane season. It's actually a hurricane with 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, a Category 1 hurricane, but it's hitting the coast of Greenland. And so instead of dumping tons of rain, it's expected to dump feet, like 4 to 5 feet of snow in the upper elevations of Greenland, a hurricane in Greenland. Isn't that crazy? Right? Don't worry, there's no such thing as global warming, so you don't have to worry about it. So what else? Well, that was a recorded statement that could be used against me in the future. I probably should edit that out before I post this. What else? Lots of great ideas. What else? Anybody else marketing their business in such a way, or marketing themselves, marketing to your database? Anybody marketing to strangers in such a way that you wanted to chat about? Anybody do something that they thought was just an absolute waste of money recently?
I had a party one time. I just invited people from my database and people that I knew. And I was going to give out prizes at the end, you know, sort of put your name. I would ask a question and then answer the question and put your name on the back. And I think I didn't go full out. It was kind of it was so. I had great intentions. I thought it would be really cool, but didn't really catch on. So I thought next time I'll do better, but I didn't do it next time. So
Yeah, so I kind of love the idea of parties and events, right? So let's take Karen's idea and just kind of move from there. I was just having a conversation with an agent in New Jersey last week who does a version of she looks to be getting back to throwing a welcome to your new home party for clients in person. But for the last 18 months, she's taken a pivot and she does them virtually. So let's talk about the in-person ones first. When you sell somebody a house, what a great idea to throw a party for them in their house, have them invite their 20 closest friends. You show up and you be the bartender. If you don't know how to be the bartender, call Marissa Gilberti, she'll teach you. She'll at least teach you how to make a couple of drinks so you can be fancy. You don't have to be like Tom Cruise in Cocktail, right? Just know the difference between, you know, grenadine and cranberry juice. But you show up and you serve some function. You're either the you know, you put the food out, or you're the bartender, you're whatever. So you're there to meet those 20 people. It doesn't cost you much. You have it catered. You don't have to spend a ton of money, but it's, you know, it's only 20 people, so it's a small amount of food. It doesn't have to be a sit-down dinner either. It can be adult beverages and hors d'oeuvres, right? But this is you now being in a room with 20 of somebody who you just closed business with, closest friends. So you not only get the shout out, you get to shake their hand and meet them. Your clients get to tell all their friends how awesome you are, especially because you're throwing this party in their house for them. You get all their names and contact information, because that you do that up front, right? You get all that information up front because you're the one inviting all these people on behalf of the clients who just bought the house. So that's how you get all the contact info. And now you've added 20 new people to your database who come from what you hope is a raving fan. I think it's such a winner of an idea. Has anybody ever done that successfully? Ryan, you've done
I
it.
have, Rick.
Tama?
I
Yeah.
I posted 5 of them, obviously pre-pandemic, and out of the 5, I've got 7.
Out of the 5 you've gotten, say it again, Tama.
I've got 7 referrals that have closed, by the way. 7 that have closed.
Wow. So yeah, so think about it. So think about, on average, what does it cost, right, to host one of those parties? Tama, what did it cost you on average to host one of those parties?
Depended on the people, because one did a wine and cheese, another group, they were recovering alcoholics, so they didn't want any wine. So I did like pulled pork and, you know, barbecue kind of stuff. And again, I catered it. So let's say $100 a party.
Right? So $100 a party. Even if you say, even triple that, right? Even if you say $300 for some food and some adult beverages for, you know, 10, 15, 20 people. Even go crazy, right? Go crazy with like giveaways and gifts. Say you're going to spend $500 on one of these suckers. Tama did 5 of them. That means she didn't, but let's just argue it this way. She spent $2,500. She had 7 closings. Even if your average commission, your average gross commission is what, 5, 10, say $8,000, right? That's $56,000 gross.
I'm going to say yes, but I'm going in and out.
Right, for spending $2,500. Guys, those are the kinds of things that I was talking about before when we talk about the own, right? What are you doing to help people own real estate at a high level? Those parties, that's one of those things. And it's a great lead generation opportunity. you spend, and then you earn a multiple of. Right, Ryan, were yours similar?
So I've tried it one time, and it was during COVID, and so I had sent over a gift basket and said, this is a preview. This was a great client that I did a sale and a purchase. I was on 2 transactions with them, so I wanted to do something special. And so the idea was, I'll host this party at your house. It'll be catered. It'll be the whole thing. They were blown away with it. They said, this is the most thoughtful, amazing gift I've ever received for anything. And 2, they said, well, you and Amy definitely have to come. I said, oh, okay, sure. I didn't even stipulate I'm going to be pouring drinks or anything. And so I said, there's no expiration on it. I understand COVID. If you want to wait till things do whatever they're going to do, that's fine. Do it outside. So long story short, I think they were eager to do something, but didn't want to do as large of a thing. So they contacted the person. I had an open line of communication with the caterer and basically just said, they're going to come to you, just treat them like they're me, just do whatever they want, and then we'll talk offline about it. And then she ended up doing like a girls' night, and it was like a smaller thing with wine and hors d'oeuvres, and that was fine, but I think it was still 10 people or so, and my wife got to go, so I gave her a bunch of cards and said, do your thing. So hire
There you
your
go.
wife.
Yeah,
So-
indeed.
So how do you determine the cost though? If you say, I'll do a housewarming, may I do a housewarming party for you? Or if you hire somebody to do, let's say, the windows, how do you cap your costs? So per client or per prospect, whatever, per person, you need to set a budget. So if you say, I'll give a party, they're like, oh, great, we're going to be 20 people. No, we're going to be 60. Oh, we want to have, whatever.
Yeah,
How do you do
right.
it?
You because remember, it's your party, so you make the rules, right? When you present it to them, you say, hey, Karen, you know what? One of the things that I would love to do for you, since you've just purchased this brand new home, is to throw a little bit of a housewarming for you and 10 of your closest friends. And so I wondered and here's how that would work, right? You choose the date, you choose the 10 friends, give me all that information. I'll send out evites and follow up to make sure that everyone knows when and how and what and where. I will cater some hors d'oeuvres and some adult beverages. Let me know if there's anything specific that maybe with allergies or whatnot you want me to avoid. And all you need to do is make sure the house is tidy. We'll have a 6 o'clock start till whatever. I'll be there till 8:30 or 9. I'll be happy to be the bartender and pour some drinks. All you have to do is make sure the house is ready by 5:30. I'll be there for setup, and everything else is on me.
Okay.
So you set the rules, right? And if they come back and say, can all those 10 people bring 10 people? The answer is, oh my goodness, you know what? It starts to get a little bit large for me to handle on my own, which is why I limit that to 10. So you just say no by saying no. Right?
Yep. Okay, got it.
Yeah. What else?
Rick, I
Yes.
wanted to share one. I've been doing a lot of, as some of you might know, I have marketing background for many years, but marketing myself was always a challenge in my business. So I've actually created a marketing plan for my yearly business. One of the things I implemented this year was a magazine. And though the readership is low and whatever, usually postcards get about a 3% and then a 97% throwout. I decided to do this good to be home, and it's kind of tying in newsletter and home crafts with your family. The content of this magazine is really kind of coffee table friendly. So I budgeted that 4 times a year. The first edition that I put out, I got 2 referrals. One was a $760,000 listing and another was a $775,000 listing. I sent this to my database of people that I have already sold houses to or for, only to capture, repeat my name and refer me. Len Schwartz's video totally hit home with me. Since that mailing, I have sent out back to school gifts to every one of those same people. I got 2 more referrals. Collectively, I spent $250. So the relationship thing is where I'm headed with all of my marketing. I've also hired a videographer to do videos with me and an inspector. Top 3 things you should do to your home before getting ready to sell or to look for when you're buying. That's my topic.
Love it. Love it. And the idea of, Jen brings us right back. And Stephen, I'm going to ask you to unmute and just talk to us about what you just put in the chat in just a second. But I want to circle back to Jen. Just kind of brought us full circle, right? Because we started this conversation talking about what Gary writes in the MREA, and that is, it's not about just prospecting. It's not about just marketing. It's a successful business people blend the two together, and they utilize their money in such a way to either maximize their prospecting, which is to me, that's what Jen just talked about. She's going to use her money in her database to maximize mind share, which capitalizes and creates more market share inside of the relationship she already has. And I think the mistake that we sometimes make is that we think that relationship building is one thing and marketing is another. The best way for you to get the best results is to blend the two, which is kind of what we've been talking about the whole time. So thank you just for bringing us full circle, Jen. I love those ideas. What kind of magazine do you send? I know people are going to ask, so I'll ask it before.
When the magazine company approached me, they had nothing surrounding your home. So I was like, no, I'm not throwing recipes at people and punch. I'm like, I need you to give me content that's going to be important to my people that bought or sold a house, that they can create moments with their children, that they can have fall cleanup ideas and what to do with your AC in the winter and things like that. And this is the magazine that I sent out. Now it's Good to Be Home. And
hold on, I'm gonna spotlight you. There you go.
Mm-hmm. So every piece of content inside this book is about someone's house, is about their family, is about how to keep your plants when it's winter and take a walk with your family, quick exercises for working moms, how to clean your home when you work 9 to 5, what's important. It's unbelievable. So that's like, I don't want to do newsletters. This is my newsletter. So you know what I mean? And you can create your own content too and upload as your mailing list changes. You just add or take away. And the other good thing is the exclusivity. If someone else is already getting this magazine, you can't send them too. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, so Amy Mosley also sends a magazine. It's called American Lifestyle. So just to give you guys another avenue to go down. It's the same kind of thing.
Company.
Oh, is it the same company?
Yeah, they have different cover sheets. So that's one version. And then this is the one I chose. But yeah.
Love it.
Already paid for itself. So I'm going to continue to do it.
What is the name of the company?
Reminder Media.
Thank you.
Ryan, what are you showing us?
Same thing. I've had some good feedback from this as well. It's Reminder Media. And I don't have a huge database, but did some neighbors plus past clients, and a few people reached out to me after sending that just to say, it's really great. Thanks for sending it. So
I love that. How old is your daughter?
Almost 4.5.
Yeah, so you are just about to crest that time frame with kids where your database is going to explode, because like once she's in school, you have classrooms that are database. Once she starts doing, soccer and brownies and all that stuff, like so you setting setting the stage now for what you're about to experience with a child-related database explosion is good. So watch for it.
I'm smiling because this morning I got an email from the school saying, hey, we're looking for parent volunteers to help organize this and that. And I sent it to my wife and I said, is this a no-brainer? Should I just do this? She said, yes, absolutely. So I literally sent the email back as we were on this call saying, let me know how to sign up.
Does her school have pool equipment? Because you are well versed as a pool boy as well, I hear. So
I'm like a Swiss Army knife. I'm the Boy Scout of realtors, maybe.
Stephen Pratt, tell us about the magazine in command, if you would. Stephen may be in a spot where he can't unmute, which is why he put it in the chat. Debbie, can you tell us about the magazine in command?
So yes, it's a quarterly publication that you can send entirely free, F-R-E-E, and you edit it. And the investment is an investment in time. And I always say, honestly, you're going to spend between an hour and an hour and a half editing it and making it relevant to you, putting all of your contact information in it, choosing the comps that you put in some of the ads, etc. And then you deliver it via email, and you can send it to 20,000 people, and it doesn't really cost you anything. So it's very cool. I love it. And it's only once a quarter, so it's not like you have to do this every single month.
My understanding before you move off of there is that you can also, with that one that's in command, you can send it out via email as a PDF, or you can, what's that website that you can make it into a magazine that turns?
FlipSnack. You can make it a flippable magazine, and we do that. That's a little bit fussy, and yet I can walk people through that process. That's another process. It takes another 10 or 15 minutes to get it the way you want it.
And before you move on, but this, and the last way you can deliver it is if you can PDF it, you can also then send it to a printer to make a real magazine out of it if you so choose. Right. So if you want to go and take the next step of designing your own and then having it printed, right? Reminder Media kind of does all that work for you. The ones in command are, the content is built for you. You just have to kind of move through and edit it, is my understanding. But you can also print them and then have them sent if you so chose. So just additional options for each of you in that system. Go ahead, Deb. Where are you going?
I'm actually doing both, because I do the Reminder Media to the inner core, and then I do the command magazine to everybody, everybody. I loved what Jen said. It was really smart, and I want to reel back to it, because she said she precursed business planning and coming up with how much money do I want to spend on this marketing piece. And I want everybody, it's time for everybody to think, and the whole thing about how much money should you spend on an event. You guys gave me, reignited some things that were in my mind. I had a very shishi buyer who, when they bought the big house, what they did was invite everybody over to their house for hot dogs. No joke. And so I'm thinking, and particularly if you have a sale in a neighborhood, hire the hot dog man. And it's not inexpensive, but on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a really good bang for your buck.
Yeah,
and invite the neighbors. The neighbors as well as their 10 or 20 nearest and dearest.
I love that idea. Like, you stick the hot truck out on the front lawn and invite the neighbors. You could hire an ice cream truck. You could hire a hot dog truck. Right? There's different versions of that.
A food truck.
Yeah, if it's a neighborhood with lots of kids, right, the ice cream truck might be a hit. Right. Remember, the way into people's heads is through their kids or their animals. Right. Those are two things that are almost always winners. And so if you do things that involve their kids or their pets, you're in like Flynn. So what great ideas, guys! It is 1:59. I hope that today was powerful for you. I got a million great ideas. I couldn't write fast enough. So thank you for everyone sharing those great ideas. I hope you found this helpful. It was the it will be posted if you want to run through it again and listen to some of the stuff you might have missed or notes you didn't take. It'll be posted later this afternoon or first thing tomorrow on YouTube. With that, it is 2 o'clock, so we're going to sign off. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for our morning Zoom. Remember, new format, 15 minutes only with stuff that's specific to you and your business. So if you haven't joined us in a while, start popping in on those 9 a.m.s consistently. We'll see you soon. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.